right, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 9th, and the time is 4:30 a.m. And here's what we got going on across the central United States this morning. You can see remnants of the severe weather event we had in Kansas last night. With this particular line of storms, we did see up to 100-mile-an-hour winds back here into Kansas. And notice there are a lot of flood warnings here from Kentucky, Tennessee, southern Illinois, Missouri, and back into Kansas. And that is because we've had this training of thunderstorms over the last 24 hours here. And things are going to get pretty crazy today. And you can see that on the new SPC outlook, as there is a level 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale from North Dakota, South Dakota into Nebraska, and then off to the southwest. They did introduce another small enhanced risk today from the panhandle of Oklahoma into Kansas. So let's break down these specific risks for severe weather today. And first, here is the hail probabilities, and notice there is a hatched 30% region from Nebraska up here through Canada. So hail up to the size of tennis balls could be a concern today. And then damaging winds are also a major concern all the way from northern Texas up here into North Dakota. But I don't want to discredit this small 5% risk that kind of comes out over here into Illinois and Indiana. And if we go back to the outlook here, notice there is a marginal risk over here extending off to the southeast of the main event. Now, the big story today is going to be this tornado risk. I could see this possibly getting upgraded to a 15% based on confidence, model confidence, and whatnot. But I don't see that happening until midday today, but it's definitely possible. But we do have this 10% hatched region here across North Dakota with a 5% risk surrounding it this morning. And looking at the NATOcast, the NATOcast is basically highlighting the same area here, North Dakota being the hot spot. This is also interesting. The NATOcast is picking up on a small area here off to the southeast of the main event where there could be a 2 to 3% risk of tornadoes this evening. Now, if we kind of look at the models here, this is what we're looking at on the HRRR model run here. And this is what we have going on this morning. Notice there's nothing as far as morning convection that's really going to limit what happens this afternoon. So if that cap is able to break, notice these storms just kind of get going here fairly easily. But one thing I do want to note is the fact that these storms look like they kind of form in a more linear mode, more of a squall line kind of moving off to the east here. We're not seeing supercellular, single storms here kind of popping up over the place. This is kind of a line. So that raises the question, will straight line winds be the more prominent risk here, or will tornadoes? And as that kind of pushes off to the east here, these are vorticity tracks here, basically showing that there is rotation in this line of storms as it's moving off to the east here. And we can go ahead and look at the significant tornado parameter, which basically takes a bunch of variables together and spits out this little thing known as the STP, basically showing all the ingredients coming together over one area. And notice by this afternoon, numbers here start to increase across the region here. But honestly, I'm not seeing anything here that's kind of jumping off the charts or making me overly concerned about the tornado risk here. And that's one reason why the Storm Prediction Center has not went ahead and put a moderate risk out or upgraded that tornado probability, because there's just not a lot of confidence, I don't think, with the setup today. And I do think that's why the Storm Prediction Center has waited to increase the probabilities as far as tornado probabilities go. But notice as we continue to move forward here, we do have a couple of elevated numbers here across central North Dakota. And what we could do is go ahead and take a sounding right here in central North Dakota. And notice this sounding's kind of contaminated, but other than that, notice that there are pretty strong shear profiles, especially in the lower levels of the atmosphere. And notice that the photographs are pretty curved here. So there is definitely potential for tornadoes today. But I'm still having a hard time, seeing that, especially with what this particular model is showing as far as the convective initiation goes, kind of mainly being in a line. But once again, we did have embedded tornadoes within the MCS that took place across Kansas last night, and possibly a few strong tornadoes. But once again, here's our enhanced risk here. Right now, we also have a lot of flood warnings going on across the central U.S. once again, mainly across Kansas into Illinois and into Kentucky and Tennessee, as well as Missouri. This is day one of multiple days of severe weather. We did have some severe weather yesterday and the day before. But other than that, that's all I got. We will have a video out tomorrow morning and as well as Thursday. But if you guys like the video, make sure to subscribe and share the video. That way we can get the video out to more people. But other than that, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a great day today, and thank you guys for watching this video.